Manoj Govind Balanikam, the man charged with abducting a Thessalon child, is being sentenced to 18 months behind bars. The decision was rendered where he says this sentence aims to send a clear message to both the...
Yo, Canada's sentences are so fucking weak.
What's the clear message? What's the clear message?
That's how you... That's how
you want to abduct kids?
That's how you send a message 18 months.
What's the message? What's the message? What's the message?
I don't even know what the message is.
I'll tell you what the message is. Take a kid, you get a year off. That's what that is.
Yo.
I see pedos in every country risking 25 to life to do it. This guy is only risking 18 months.
I'm telling you, if you're a pedo, it's either two things. Move to Canada or become president of the United States.
Defense for the former realtor had argued previously that the situation was a cultural misunderstanding, also saying that an extended sentence may impact Govind Balanikam.
Oh my God.
Cultural misunderstanding. You took some random person into...
You admit I'm fully speechless.
Hey, yo, what the fuck kind of defense is this?
May impact Govind Balanikam's ability to stay in the country.
Oh, deport his ass. Deport his ass. Oh, he ain't even a permanent resident? Get him the fuck up out of here. Clearly, he's not culturally assimilating because he's abducting kids. Send him the fuck back.
Varpio rejected both, stating that the guilty party has been in Canada for 12 years and is educated enough to know Canadian cultural norms. The judge made clear that Govind Balanikam's risk of deportation was not a factor in his decision. The 37-year-old had used promises of ice cream and a fidget spinner to lure...
Wait, I just want y'all to think about that. So these people immigrate here for a better life, cool. They work in the society, but during this period where it's almost like a probationary period before they can get their permanent residency, there's certain things that they have to adhere to. They break the law in a country they're not a permanent resident in, and not like a fender bender, they fucking abduct a child, and there should be consideration for his citizenship in terms of sentencing? Is that a thing? Why does he get a privilege as a non-citizen who's on a probationary period to get a reduced sentence? What the fuck is that? Manoj Govind Banun. Sorry guys, there's like 20 letters. Govind Balanikam. This piece of garbage. Get him the fuck up out of here. What a retarded way of setting up the system where a refugee immigrant type situation where you break a law and you have a better right than citizens do to have a lesser sentence. First off, it shouldn't fucking matter what it is. Send him to jail for equal amount of time, but it should never be considered at all. I can understand if it's a fender bender. Okay. Traffic situations, that's fine. That makes sense to me. Criminal behavior, something that's like a felony?
How are you going to say it's always going to affect us? We don't want to hear.
You got to go.
He forfeited when he did that shit.
However, Justice Varpio said he was not presented with any evidence suggesting a intent as part of the abduction.
In what country is it normal to lure kids into your car with ice cream?
No.
And the judge says there's no proof of intent. Okay. Let's say the Crown couldn't prove that. Couldn't prove, like most of us are going to assume, but it's true in court you have a higher standard. Fair. Why should it be 18 months for kidnapping? You remove someone's physical agency to go anywhere, use manipulative tactics to steal an underage person. Why would that still lead to 18 months? And they're going to consider to keep this fucking piece of garbage in our society? Honestly, they could have fucking executed the man now would have supported that shit. The boy was fishing by himself at the river when the man approached him saying he was a real estate agent looking for property in the area. Oof. No. Apparently he actually is a real estate agent.
Why are you asking a boy?
So Phil Young told CTV News in a phone interview he's not sure what exactly was said to get the boy in the car. We later found out it's because he lured them there with ice cream and whatever it was. But someone who knew the family saw what happened and called the parents right away. Shout out to the community. Because who knows what would fucking happen to this kid if this didn't happen that quickly. Can we just say how fucking stupid this guy is and how glad we are he's dumb? He did this in some kind of yellow bumblebee car. A very noticeable one. Thessalon is a small town with a population of about 1,200 people, and many in the community know each other. A yellow Camaro in town sticks out. After receiving the call, Young said the boy's parents went driving around to look for their son. They found him shortly after in another area of town inside the man's car eating ice cream. The parents had some words with the driver, took the boy home, and called the police, giving them the description. Police found the Camaro in the local plaza around 90 kilometers away where the incident with the boy happened and contacted OPP.
I hope he gets done up in jail.
Yeah, these details make it much worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah.
You're a real estate agent. Why are you talking to a kid?
And people say, oh, he's not evil. Why would you do that in a yellow car? I just saw this story about a FedEx driver. Did you guys see this story?
My understanding, the jury has reached a verdict on both issues. Okay, he's handed police to Deputy King. Special issue number 2, whether taking into consideration all the evidence, including the circumstances of the offense, the defendant's character and background, and the personal moral culpability of the defendant, there is a sufficient mitigating circumstance or circumstances to warrant that a sentence of life imprisonment without parole rather than a death sentence be imposed. Answer, we the jury unanimously find that the answer to special issue number 2 is no.
So he was just sentenced to life in prison, but they go further. They have another sentence for him.
Mr. Horner, if you'd stand, please. It's the order of the court that you, Tanner Lynn Horner, has been adjudged to be guilty of the offense of capital murder as found by the jury. Jury having answered the special issues, making it mandatory that your punishment be death, it is therefore the order of this court that your punishment be death. Before the hour of sunrise on a date to be determined by this court, upon a mandate of affirmance issued by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals at the State Penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas, you will be caused to die in accordance with the rules and regulations established by the Texas Department.
Based. Now, this man is getting sentenced to death. If you guys know the story, FedEx driver, he abducted this 7-year-old girl. And if you're unaware, FedEx cars, they all have cameras. So he covered the camera, abducted her. And, the story was like, oh, I didn't intend to, whatever it was. What he wasn't aware is I was recording audio. So there's a 1 hour audio where they can hear everything. It is dark. They played that audio in the court, and they heard what that guy did to her. I don't have to get into details. We don't need to be graphic, but you can imagine. And then he ended up her to death. That's easily how this story could have ended. And you might think to yourself, well, yeah, this is why I mentioned this story. It's like, this guy was so fucking stupid. He didn't even recognize his own camera on his truck that he's been driving has audio. Criminals.
Good.
It takes generally a lot of really fucking stupid people to commit some of these crimes and to think they're going to be okay. Or maybe they're not thinking because they're really fucking stupid. So we don't have to rationalize why he did it in a yellow Camaro or whatever. The criminals are really fucking dumb many of the times, but they're still capable of incredible evil, and they belong behind bars. I'm glad this man was sentenced to death, and I wish this guy was getting the same treatment. There's no reason to be abducting nobody's kid. There's no reason to lure no kid into your fucking car while they're fishing because you want to look at property. Here's some ice cream, little bro.
But that makes no sense. I mean, there's no correlation with one or the other. There's no correlation. And you're a grown man looking for property. Why are you talking to a kid? Like, you think the kid's going to know property? Then you lure him with ice cream in your... No, I'm sorry.
Someone said these two cases are very different. No, they're not. They're not.
Hold on. They are because there was not enough time for one. But that was the beginning of the... We don't know because he was caught before.
Yep.
Well, you would have waited for that little boy to die?
Yeah.
That kid can eat the ice cream outside of your car.
That's it.
If ever. But this situation makes no sense for happening.
I think someone said, should sentencing be different for that? I mean, obviously. But at the end of the day, there should be no place in society for abducting children. There's no reason for you guys that you can convince me that that should not make you an incredibly high-risk person. I don't care if you want to f*** the kid or not. I don't care if you want to just kidnap the kid for weeks or whatever it is. You're still traumatizing the children, and we should send you to jail for decades, period. Should the guy be sentenced to death? I personally don't give a shit. You abducted a child, get bent. Die. There's no world in this place where I think that should ever be a standard. 18 months is nuts. So we made recent changes where like people getting refugee or asylum status or whatever it is have no access to healthcare. They got to pay their own way. They have no access to dental, whatever, which is already kind of crazy because they were getting certain benefits that citizens don't get. Like, why would they get free dental? We don't get that.
100%.
Stupid. Now, maybe it's only in specific cases where there's a medical reason for why they need the dental work, but still, I'm glad that they stopped that. That they're going to have to pay their own way or a large percentage of it. That's a good first step.
We can agree to that.
Get this piece of garbage out of here. You commit a felony, get him the fuck up out of here. No chances, nothing. It's a privilege to live in this country. If you're going to immigrate here and you can't even be on your best behavior for 10 years before you get in your permanent residency or whatever, get the fuck up out of here. I've lived here 31 years. Well, yeah, 31 years actually. Never committed a felony. You've been here
12 years. You're abducting kids.
So what, you're saying in India they just go around abducting kids with ice cream? You know what I don't like? I don't like the fact that they'll use like cultural persecution or whatever and say, you know, I'm escaping this culture that's trying to kill me, and then go somewhere else and then use the habits of that exact same culture to justify why they shouldn't be punished for their behavior.
It don't even have to be. It doesn't matter.
That's it.
It has nothing to do. It's not your kid. It's not your kid. What are you doing?
I know that he knows it's not a cultural misunderstanding, but I think there's a shamelessness sometimes to people who should be on their best behavior, using every slime ball tactic to get away with shit. It's like, motherfucker, you're a guest. You're not even a citizen.
That's a loophole
motherfucker, you're a guest.
That's a loophole.
You're using our services, wasting our tax dollars. If we don't even know if we want to keep you here, and you have the audacity to use every loophole when you should be on your best behavior, ship them the fuck out. I'm not saying you got to come to Canada and grovel at their feet, but you could at least be an upstanding citizen who don't commit no fucking felonies. And if what I'm saying is too anti-immigration for you, you're a fucking idiot too.
That has nothing to do with immigration. Nobody should adopt kids. Now you trying to come inside a country? It's just common sense. I can't even cross the border if I have like a felony. I'm trying to immigrate in it. No, bye.